between the process and the computer networks. A process send message into, or it can receive the message from the network through the software interface that is called as socket. So process can send or receive the message to or from the network through one interface, that is a software interface. That interface we are going to call it as a socket. It is also referred to as API, application programming interface, that is between the application layer and the network. Got it? Since the socket is a programming interface with which the network applications are built. See, you can see the in the diagram the socket. Okay, so the application at the sending side pushes the message through the socket. This is the sending side and this is the receiving side. So application will push the packet through the socket. At the other end, the transport layer has the responsibility for getting the messages to the socket of the receiving process. So we have some of the addressing mechanism or addressing process. For a process running on one host to send packet to a process running on the other host, the receiving process needs to have an address. To identify the receiving process, two pieces of information needs to be specified. One is the address of the host and second one is the identifier that specify the receiving process in the destination host. In internet, the hosts are identified by IP address. In addition to knowing the address of the host to which the message is destined, the sending process must also identify the receiving process running in the host. Destination port numbers serve this process. So the popular application have been assigned specific port numbers. For example, if it is a web server, which is identified with the port number 80, then email server process SMTP with the port number 25, means we need two important parameters. One is the IP address, so that is actually 32-bit IP address, we'll discuss later in the module 3, and we have a port number. If the port number is 80, then we can tell it is a web server, like this. So next we can move on to transport service application applicable to the available to the applications. Okay, now what are the transport services is available? So we can have in terms of reliable data transfer, throughput, timing, as well as security. So we can have some of the throughput in terms of throughput, data loss, and all those things we can define. Before that, we will define what actually the meaning of reliable data transfer. Okay, so the packets can get lost within the computer network. For example, computer packet can overflow the buffer in a router, or it can be discarded by the host or the router after having some of the bits corrupted. So for many applications, for example, email, file transfer, web document transfer, financial application, data loss can have devastating consequences. Thus, to support these applications, something has to be done in order to guarantee that data sent from one end of the application is delivered correctly and completed to the other end of the applications. So, if a protocol provides such a guarantee of data delivery service, it is said to be a reliable data transfer. One important service of the transport layer protocol can potentially provide an application is process to process reliable data transfer. When a transport protocol provides a service, the sending process can just pass its data into the socket and know with complete confidence that data will arrive without error at the receiving station. Okay. Then throughput. Already you know through transport protocol could provide a guaranteed available throughput at some specified rate. So usually the rate will be R bits per second. Like this we are going to use it. Next part is timing. So transport layer protocol can also provide a timing guarantees. So interactive real-time applications such as internet telephony or virtual environment, teleconferencing, multiplayer gaming, we have a tight timing constraints on the data delivery in order to be effective. And the last part is the service is security. So the transport protocol can provide an application with one or more security services. For example, in sending host, transport layer can encrypt all the transmitted by sending the process, and receiving post, transport layer protocol can decrypt all the data before delivering into the application layer. So these protocol provide a security service like confidentiality, data integrity, as well as endpoint authentication. This is with respect to summary of application. So next part will be the TCP as well as UDP services. So one is connection oriented service with the reliable data transfer, another is connection less oriented services. We will see one by one.